community leaders and students raise awareness of sexual violence as part of Denim Day.
An LA area Muslim college student speaks out about an incident of discrimination. We'll hear her story.
The bike mechanic who was kicked off campus last year is in studio live with the student who developed his new app.
Annenberg TV News is next.
Live from USC, you're watching Annenberg TV News.
Hundreds of activists gathered at City Hall and around LA to commemorate Denim Day. Good evening, I'm Olivia Sandusky.
And I'm Taylor Edgell. For the last 19 years, the purpose of Denim Day has been to raise awareness about rape and sexual violence. This year, organizers have expanded their message.
This Denim Day, we've expanded our signature message, which I know many of you know, that there's no excuse and never an invitation to rape. Now we include sexual harassment. Do we want LA to be a sexual harassment zone?
Slogan for the new campaign, sexual harassment, not on my watch. It's inspired by the Me Too and Time's Up movement. And the message is not just for women.
This movement needs men to stand up with women and walk beside women, and part of that is educating our boys. And we have to stop future boys from growing up and, still holding on to those ideas that, men are up here and women are down here, and that's where the roots of the violence come from.
In the 1990s, a rapist was acquitted by the Italian Supreme Court. Why? The 17-year-old victim was wearing denim jeans. Justices ruled they were too tight to remove without her consent. Women in the Italian parliament immediately protested by wearing jeans to work. This motivated the California Senate and Assembly to do the same. In April 1999, LA's Patricia Giggins of Peace Over Violence started the first Denim Day. We talked to the leader of I Am That Girl, a USC group which helps students who are victims of sexual assault and harassment.
I think it's a great initiative. I wish it was more publicized because I think that it's really relevant on campus regarding sexual assault and the way that we treat victims. I'm really thankful that I'm in a lot of organizations that acknowledge Denim Day, or not everyone is even aware that Denim Day was even happening.
You can visit denimdayinfo.org to get more information about Denim Day or to donate money to support rape prevention education and services for survivors.
The Trump administration's travel ban headed to the Supreme Court today, where justices heard oral arguments from both sides. The executive order instituting the ban was signed last year by the president and stopped immigration from a number of Muslim-majority nations. Hate incidents are up across the country and in Southern California. Annenberg Media's Aton Wallace joins us live with the story of a student who says she was the target of hate. Aton?
Well, Olivia, college students use Uber all the time, myself included. But one local college student says she was kicked out of an Uber because of her religion.
It was shocking. It was very unwelcoming feeling. It was really tough.
That's how 25-year-old Cal State LA student Ahlam Shihab describes how she felt after an Uber driver refused to drive her because she's Muslim.
I requested the Uber ride like I usually do. He came, I got inside the car. He just drove for less than half a mile, and then he looked me in the mirror. He just parked the car on the side, and he goes can you please leave? I'm not taking you. And he goes I wouldn't give a ride to a Muslim with a hijab.
It's the latest anti-Muslim hate incident to take place in LA County. A new report by the Council on American Islamic Relations shows there were 37 reported anti-Muslim incidents in 2017. That's more than double the year before.
We are living in a different political climate nowadays.
Chairman of the Islamic Center of Southern California, Omar Ricci, believes the increase in anti-Islamic hate incidents begin with the nation's leaders.
When the President of the United States says that Islam hates us, people who don't know about Islam, don't know about Muslims, look at that and they then act from a place of ignorance.
It remains unclear how Uber will punish the driver involved with this latest incident. In a statement to Annenberg Media, the rideshare company said, "We take accusations like this very seriously and investigate every complaint. Uber's community guidelines call for mutual respect and zero tolerance for discrimination. But Shihab says she's not pleased with Uber's response.
They spoke to me and they were like, we will be taking an action, from our end, but that's not enough,
If you could see the driver today, what would you say to him?
To never hate, never hate. There's no need for that,
Shihab told me she has no plans to take legal action against Uber, but she hopes her story will encourage people to be more accepting of others who look different than they do. Taylor?
In its last meeting of the year, the USG Senate unanimously voted in favor of creating a permanent Dream Center for undocumented students. The goal is for the center to be opened by January, but USG Director of External Affairs Mai Mizuno says this is not the end of the issue.
The resolution is merely a statement of support for this specific issue. It's not in any sort of way a binding agreement with the administration. And so what this really just says is, administrators, we care about this issue. Student government is behind it, both undergraduate and graduate. How can we move forward?
The next time the USG Senate meets will be on August 21st to kick off the next academic year.
USC has officially appointed Laura Mosqueda as the new dean for the Keck School of Medicine. Mosqueda has been the interim dean since October, replacing Rohit Varma. Varma was removed as dean after sexual harassment allegations came to light. His predecessor, Carmen Polifito, stepped down after an LA Times investigation last year revealed he regularly did drugs and associated with addicts and prostitutes. Mosqueda is the first woman to hold the position since the school opened. The USC provost says her experience and medical work make her the clear choice. USC students have reached the most stressful time of the year. Finals, tests, and papers can be overwhelming for everyone. If you're feeling stressed, the USC Office for Wellness and Health Promotion offers various services targeted towards students' each individual needs.
There are lots of different approaches, and I think that our counseling center has a variety of different ways to go about dealing with issues. And that's part of the reason that your first appointment will happen within 48 hours. First appointment happens within 48 hours, and that's an intake and assessment.
The USC Office for Wellness and Health Promotion focuses on preventing potential health problems. In addition to in-person services, Mindful USC offers an app to help students relax.
What mindfulness does is open yourself up to your emotions, and it's hard for some people to really express their emotions. So we don't try to pull their emotions out of them, but we want them to see that these are just normal emotions, that they arise and pass away. They're not who you are as a person.
The USC Office for Wellness and Health Promotion is located in the USC Engelman Health Center. The Student Wellness Lounge can be found in room 203, and no appointment is necessary before stopping by.
Thanks, Olivia. Joining me now is Aaron Flanoy, better known as Lil Bill, and the USC student who helped develop an app for his mobile bike repair business, Ahmed Aldulaini. Hi guys, how are you doing today?
Pretty good. How are
Thanks
you?
so much for being here. So I've got to ask firstly, how did you two meet?
So one day I just walked over to Web Tower. I used to live in Web Tower, and I had my bike fixed by Lil Bill. Of course, he ripped me off. No, just kidding. But in any case, that's when I first met Bill and heard his story. A semester later, he would be relocated outside of the USC campus, and I thought I could do something in order to alleviate the pressure that was being put on him.
Awesome. So yeah, talking about that, tell me more about this app. How did you come up with it? How exactly does it work?
So the app is basically split into two parts. One of them is where students and users can see where Lil Bill is currently located, and they can also book appointments in order to have Lil Bill come to them at their own convenient time. The second part of this application is actually shopping and being able to buy bikes that are delivered. The bikes can be shown not only in pictures, but also in 3D models that integrate AR into the entire process to deliver something totally new that only maybe IKEA has in place currently. So we're hoping that by stepping up the bar for technology and integrating something so good into a local business, we can create something radical and something usable.
That's incredible. Lil Bill, what do you think of this app?
I think it's great. It's a move forward, especially for me, as far as marketing and doing new techniques to reach out to the new freshmen that's coming in, the new transfer students that's coming in. They need to know about Lil Bill, and this app will surely get the message out along with Facebook and Instagram as well.
That's incredible. Do you think that you've seen a lot more customers since you started using the app?
Not as of yet, but you know, we just launched it, so we foresee a big pickup in the very near future, especially this coming August.
Right. Now, speaking of the future, do you have any future plans for the app or for the business in general?
Yeah, so we're currently working on acquiring seed funding and more donations so that we can continue the development of this app and carry out our vision of how do we take something like this and use it as a tool in order to promote local businesses in South Central. So.
Okay, awesome. And as I'm sure you guys know, the new ordinance passed by the city of LA about requiring an enclosed vehicle for a vendor like yourself. What plans do you have to transfer to that, to change to that?
We currently are doing fundraising. We're fundraising right now to try to get a new van for the business. These students are so awesome. They've been standing by me so many years. I never asked anything of them. So right now, a few of them are trying to fundraise on my behalf to get this van so we can stay in compliance with the new city laws that's going into effect.
That's incredible. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here today.
So much,
it's incredible. And just in case students need to know, where exactly can they find you on campus?
Hoover and Jefferson, right by the food trucks.
Right by the food trucks? Okay, awesome. Thank you two so much for being here.
Thank you.
Of course.
A new report by the NCAA says college basketball needs to make some changes.
The NFL draft starts tomorrow. We'll preview the top USC talent.
A USC alum and entrepreneur is building an innovative clothing line. It could soon be a trending brand.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there, junk food. You see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. It's good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit savethefood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
I spy something beginning with S.
Snow?
No.
Snow-covered trees.
Nothing to do with snow.
Head outside to discover incredible animals and beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure.
Wow.
So grab your loved ones.
Don't even.
And explore a world of possibilities.
Come on, this way.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you.
The Commission on College Basketball released a report today that could affect players, coaches, and agents. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice presented recommendations for the NCAA.
Elite high school players with NBA prospects and no interest in a college degree should not be forced to attend college, often for less than a year. The one-and-done regime may have provided some benefits for the NBA and even for the NCAA at some time in the past. But the downsides now outweigh the benefits.
This report comes after the FBR charged 10 people in college basketball with corruption and bribery last year. The recommendations could change the rules for agents, summer leagues, drafts, and recruiting. The Commission's report suggested the NCAA get rid of the so-called one-and-done rule. The report also calls for tougher penalties for rule breakers. The NCAA's Board of Directors will review the Commission's proposals and determine if any changes will be made for the next college basketball season. Well, the end of the year has some of us sad, but the weather is certainly something to be happy about.
Yeah, Olivia, it seems like we don't have anything to complain about. Let's check in with Trevor for this week's forecast.
Well, guys, I know I'll be doing all of my final studying outside because it is beautiful for the next week. If we take a look at the weather right now, it's 67 degrees outside, not a cloud in the sky. just going to be gorgeous going on forward. Now looking ahead towards tomorrow, as you can see in the IE, it'll be 79 degrees and warm in Big Bear as well, 68 degrees. Moving on up the coast though, it's going to stay about the same, a little bit warmer. 75 degrees in the valley, 62 along the coast, but still beautiful, beautiful weather. Now in the LA basin, 70 degrees at USC, 72 in Anaheim, and just mid-70s, low 70s throughout that entire region. And now the 5-day forecast couldn't be anything better. 70s across the board all the way into next week. You might see a couple clouds, but nothing to be worried about, and then lows in the mid-50s. Now, you may have noticed over the past few years, the weather switching dramatically from one season to another. California is a prime example of this kind of weather whiplash. Caused by global climate change, the state's summers are very dry and its winters are very wet. These effects were clear when the rain stressed the Oroville Dam last year. A recent study by a UCLA scientist says we should be prepared for more of these extremes. I spoke to him about his findings.
I would say the most surprising aspect of our analysis was, in particular, the very large increase in the frequency of an 1862-like flood event. What we find is that due to warming, this sort of event will probably happen more likely than not in the next 40 years.
Now, Swain did tell me that if we can reduce our impact on the environment, we can prevent these extreme changes in the future. So just something to be aware about, but I think we have some time until we have to deal with a problem like this in the future.
Yeah, it's crazy. We have been having crazy weather here.
Yeah, I know. We go cold to hot, yeah.
Yeah, insane. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Trevor, for that. A USC alum is using high-quality T-shirts to start a movement focusing on diversity. Annenberg Media's Leslie Ambrise takes us to the upstart local business.
Michelle Hanabusa is creating a new kind of streetwear, one that lets you sweat and still look good. This is all thanks to the combination of cotton and athletic wear fabric.
There's two different layers that are like intertwined in one fabric, and the first one, it actually absorbs your sweat, and then the second layer helps it like release it.
Hanabusa is the co-founder of Uprising, the company behind what they like to call the world's smartest tee.
Our mission is more than just selling clothing. It's about building a community of uprisers, and what that means is finding people, building a community so that we can continue to uplift each other and inspire one another.
They're moisture-wicking, fast-drying, and even control odors. Michelle Hanabusa says, all this, and they're still under your budget. She's a Los Angeles native, and so are her shirts. Everything is made in Compton. The brand is launching an online campaign called American Made. Its goal is to celebrate diversity in the United States by photographing hundreds of people from every belief, ethnicity, and sexual orientation.
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube, we're taking over the internet and sending the message of unity and hoping that that changes the country.
Uprising launches on May 2nd, and according to Hanabusa, her tees are about to become your new favorite shirt. For Annenberg Media, I'm Leslie Ambrise.
Wow, what an amazing story. There's such interesting clothing. And Taylor, I've heard you got some highlights to cover for us.
I actually have a lot of highlights to cover. For all of you seniors out there, we're going to take a look back on some of the most memorable of the past few years. Jam-packed with Pac-12 tournament play. How many teams are competing for that Pac-12 title? And the draft begins tomorrow. Which team is Sam going to land on? We'll talk about it when sports returns in 90 seconds.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to sports. It has been in the making, but the NFL draft officially starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. Tomorrow is just the first round, followed by the second on Friday and the third and final round on Saturday. There are a number of Trojans up for the draft, some of which Jones II, Uchenna Nwosu, Rasheem Green, Josh Fatu, and Stephen Mitchell Jr. But the talk of the town has certainly been quarterback Sam Darnold, who is predicted to go in the first round and perhaps even number 1. I had the chance to interview former Los Angeles Ram and Pro Bowler Leroy Irvin about his predictions on his thoughts about where Darnold could end up.
If he's lucky, he'll get to go somewhere like New York and play behind Eli Manning for a couple of years, learn the craft. You know, if he's lucky, he gets to go somewhere where there's a quarterback already there that's taking the heat, and he can learn from him. If he's unlucky, he goes to somewhere like Cleveland.
In less than 24 hours, we'll know if Irvin's right. But now, let's get down to some current Pac-12 action. Victoria, somehow we've got 6 different teams doing Pac-12 play. What is that all about, and what's the latest news?
Well, Lauren, just hours ago, the men's golf team sealed the deal, winning the Pac-12 championship. The team was 34 under par as a whole, and the superstar, Justin Suh, he was 16 under on his own. He's the number 2 amateur in the nation, been phenomenal all season. Along with men's golf, the women's golf team finished second in their Pac-12 tournament, so close. Now the number 4 seed going into NCAAs.
That's a pretty impressive seed. Do we have any other teams that are also pretty high seeded in the rankings?
Coincidentally, the women's lacrosse team is going to be the number 3 seed in their Pac-12 tournament. Lucky for them, they're going to be facing Arizona State, who they actually just creamed 16-2 last weekend. They're going to be playing Arizona State in that first round, looking very good for them.
Well, I like to hear that, and it's also important to note that this is their first ever Pac-12 tournament. It's the inaugural one because they were in the MPSF beforehand. But I really hope they can pull out that win over Arizona. That would be super exciting.
Coincidentally, our beach volleyball team will be playing Arizona State as well tomorrow. They're ranked number 5 nationally, number 2 in this tournament, led by April Bustamante and Tina Gradina. They are 24-1 on the season. That's an incredible record. They're on a 7-match winning streak. So lucky they're going to play Arizona State number 7. Seem will be an easy first round.
And speaking of repeats, I know the men's tennis team is also looking for a 2-peat. Tell me about that a little bit more.
Men's tennis is seeded number 3. They're behind Stanford and UCLA. Unfortunately, did not get a win against either of those teams during the conference, but their last match against UCLA was a 3-2 loss. So that's a team that they definitely can beat if they show up and scout them appropriately.
Well, and I feel like a rivalry matchup, there's always room for excitement and a mix-up in there.
Definitely. And on the other hand, the women's tennis team has not been as strong this season. We'll see if they can channel that underdog mentality, ranked number 6 in their Pac-12 playoff.
I think we've got some faith that they can pull out a win, for sure. But thank you so much, Victoria.
Of course, always here to help.
For all the updates, it's been a lovely semester serving with you as a sports anchor. But now it's a really exciting weekend for Pac-12 play. But many of us are actually graduating seniors. And in the spirit of remembering all of the good times of the past 4 years, we wanted to take it back and take a little trip down memory lane and revisit some of the most memorable USC sports highlights since 2014. Some of our favorite memories certainly come from the football field. Since 2014, the Trojans have gotten a new head coach and produced 38 Trojan victories, including 3 over the Bruins. But first, we've got some of our most memorable Trojans. No one can miss Adoree Jackson's leap over the Notre Dame defender. That was just something you'll never forget. And here's Juju Smith-Schuster doing his classic Juju on that beat, which that is also pretty unforgettable. And Sam Darnold, his performance brought about an unforgettable Rose Bowl victory. And maybe one of my personal favorites was this year's Rojo flip into the end zone for the touchdown. Just, wow, that's really all I can say about that. The Pac-12 play of the season was this one right here when Uchenna Nwosu had that goal line stand. It was so exciting, and I will never forget the confetti that rained down after that victory. And there's no shortage of memories on the court as well. Who could forget when the Trojans stunned the world when they defeated SMU 66-65 to make it to the second round of March Madness? We saw numerous records set by graduating seniors Jordan McLaughlin and Elijah Stewart as well. And we can't talk about highlights without talking about the beach volleyball team. They won their first national championship all the way back in 2014, and since then, they've dominated with 3 straight wins. And clearly, Trojan athletics have made it a memorable 4 years for us. The best part is the excitement doesn't end today. We'll be sure to continue giving you updates on Pac-12 tournament play, and there's only 128 days left until football season.
Thanks so much, Lauren. That was incredible. Slightly sad, but
bittersweet.
Bittersweet. Well, we've made some pretty funny bloopers over the semester.
And we'll show you some of our funniest flubs.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
迷惑ボーイ。
ここはなんとかしなくちゃ。
スーパーカインドの交通機関案内。
When you ride on the bus or rail, don't eat popcorn, meat, or kale. Food can smell and it makes a mess. Keep LA Metro clean and fresh. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them. Come along with me, let's go. It's time to ride on the Metro. When eating food causes problems, you know Super Kind will be there to solve them.
Finally tonight, a look at some of our bloopers. Enjoy.
I feel like I'm not lit. Oh, USC. Oh.
Welcome to the luxurious Annenberg Media Center.
And it's all for one person. That would be for Winter Olympic athlete. That would be Mirai Nagasu.
USC's Roski School of Art is launching a new program focusing on experimental design.
So joining us now, we have Suji Nam, who now takes a look at what Koreans have responded to the Olympics.
Here's how we're preparing. This is where you can pick up pre-filled sandbags.
First thing I noticed was the hats. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Hi there.
Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News. Annenberg TV News from everyone at Annenberg Media. I'm Hamda Salhu.
And happy 420. Marijuana to marijuana to marijuana. This big plate of marijuana. Marijuana and marijuana. And free tacos. Marijuana, that marijuana. And infested marijuana as marijuana. Marijuana.
Some dank.
Bikes are a popular means of transportation.
But I was the Grand Poobah of the Threadhead Patchery this past year.
Protesters rallied today as the U.S. Supreme Court hears a case that could threaten public union.
Thanks for staying with us. This is the Current International, and Cape Town is about to run out of water.
There are just over 200 who keep the buildings at USC clean. And we have breaking news. Annenberg Media has learned that the USC student arrested last spring.
Yeah. I can't dance for anything.
Oh, sure you can.
Yeah, it would have been tough to walk out with this sweatshirt on today.
I know, definitely.
Yeah.
So any Angels fans at the desk today?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh.
Looking forward to those warmer temps.
Are you a big fish person? It's actually really fun. I might be doing that tonight instead of going on a Valentine's Day too.
Oh, pretty girl like you, no way, Lauren.
That's the word.
Well, we certainly enjoyed that. Thanks for watching Annenberg TV News from everyone at Annenberg Media. I'm Taylor Etchell.
And I'm Olivia Sandusky. You can watch us on the web at uscannenbergmedia.com. Good night.